Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Hurdle the Line. As ever, I am your host, Fletcher, and this podcast is brought to you by the AAW Network. Joining me as we go on a ride through the first week of pre-season and through a very, very special segment being brought to us by Chapman. Joining us to do this is our co-hostess with the mostess, Ballers Meg. How are we, Ballers Meg?
I am really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Also joining us is one half of our resident AFC cortage. I don't know the word.
Cohort.
Cohort, that's the one. We'll go with that one. Tom Craft, how are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks, Fletch. Yeah, very good.
Lovely. And the other half of our What Meg Said is Ollie. How are you, sir?
Very, very good. After pre-season week one, feeling good.
Bring in the energy, I love it. And finally, last but not least, we have Chapman. How are you, sir?
I'm well, thanks. I don't got much.
Awesome. The energy in the room is electric. Please bottle
Palpable.
this, keep it. We need this going forward. So before we get properly into the episode, has everybody had a good week? Has anything interesting happened other than pre-season National Football League football?
Swansea lost their first game. Nothing unusual there. No, other than that, about it.
I do believe we have a brand new four-legged member of the AAW family.
Yeah, we got a puppy on Thursday, little bunny.
Oh, what kind of
Yeah,
dog?
she's a British Bulldog,
Oh,
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's 8 week old British Bulldog bunny, and a lot of training and getting up in the middle of the night to take her out to potty and all sorts of fun stuff. But so I was a little late for the start of the show. That's why we're awkwardly silent today. Because everyone's shaming me because they know I hate being late to anything. So anyway,
Oh,
but we do got Bunny.
We do, and
I'm sure
love
she'll make
that.
an appearance at some point.
yeah.
we hope so. We
Hopefully hear
expect
her
so.
snoring.
Yes, please. Well, before we get properly into the episode, as ever, we need to go through those fine little details that we normally go through. If you are watching on YouTube even, look over here, because again, as always, we know you're putting us on in the background. I'm not really paying attention, but come over here for 2 seconds, look at your screen, look where I'm going, right down there, you'll see Ollie, and as beautiful as Ollie is, take 1 second and go a bit further down. Oh, Chapman, both of them absolutely stunning, but go a little bit further down into the description of the episode. In that description, you'll see a load of crap text. Like, don't ignore that bit. But when you start seeing blue stuff, those are links. In those links, you will find a link to our Discord server, which is free to join. Plenty of channels, plenty of stuff to get your teeth sunk into. You will also be able to follow the AAW network on all socials, Hurdle the Line on all socials, and every single one of these beautiful human beings on social media too, which obviously is going to be a fun ride throughout the season. So make sure you are following all of those, please, on the social medias that you are on, more importantly. I haven't got a lot of NFL specific news. It's pre-season. We're just kind of cracking on with that. Does anybody have anything that they have seen this week that is of note
I
that
think there's only
isn't pre-season?
one answer to this, I think, isn't there?
Boy,
Greatest pre-season performance, I think. Some are saying the greatest pre-season performance in NFL history.
Hold on,
Should there
hold on to that for two
Sanders?
minutes. Hold on 2 minutes. We'll get on to proper pre-season in a sec. We just want like have there been? I've not seen anything. Has there been like any signings, any keynote signings or anything over the
No,
last week?
Nothing major.
I think we
Okay.
just had the Rashawn Slater thing, but I don't know if we covered that last week or not. But
I
torn
believe we
ACL
did.
out for the year.
Yes, there's that. So do have a couple of little bits that aren't, I guess, like they aren't specific on-field news or team-specific news, but the NFL are hosting an opening weekend international events in 7 cities across the world. And if you want the finest cities in the world, you can go to the 6 other cities that they go to, that's fine. But the finest city on this planet, Manchester, is hosting one of those events for the UK. and it's free to register for tickets for. You just need to download the NFL One Pass app. Is that what it's called? The One Pass
Yep.
app.
One
Uh,
pass.
Register for free tickets. I'm not sure if it's like a ballot thing. Once you've registered, are you in, or is it something that they'll go?
No, so once you've registered, you get your ticket straight away as a QR code, and then once they're sold out, not sold out. Once they're gone, basically. So it's kind of first come, first serve is what I've taken from the press release we got.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you fancy going to Manchester and watching the opening weekend of the NFL season with, I'll be there, Mrs. Fletcher will be there, I know Meg, you'll be there. So get down while you can, while tickets are there. Also, no, that's about it from because we covered the ESPN NFL stuff last week, didn't we?
Mhm.
Okay, so we have one piece of pod specific news, and that is that we will be continuing our partnership with Fantasy Game Day, which is really exciting, and we love partnering with them last season, and that means that going forward, especially as the season starts, we'll bring you some partnership specific content every episode. More on that as kind of we go forward. But if you want to get in there, get in early, go to Fantasy Game Day app. When you sign up, use the code HRDLE. That is hurdle without the U. And we've got no Sam to finish off this sentence because it was genius last year. Does anyone want to join in and do the Sam bit?
What was the standard?
Sound bit?
Right. Okay. So I say the code is HRDLE, that's hurdle without the U, and then someone needs to jump in and say, but there is no hurdle the line without you, and that's what Sam used to do every week. So anyone wanted to be a taker on this one? Bit of participation.
There's no hurdling the line
Right, okay.
without you.
Right, ready? Use code HRDLE, that is hurdle without the U.
Because there's no hurdling the line without you.
Oh, we added the flair onto it as well.
There was a wink there.
Oh, we
Always.
gotta get you on Cameo, man.
We need to. It's Sam. Sam,
20
if
quid.
he's watching this, if Sam, if you are watching this, in fact, I'm just going to message privately and just say, like, mate, there's no beating that. But if you do deposit, and when you deposit and play your first game, you will get a free game worth £7.50 to play throughout at some point throughout the season. That's daily fantasy. More about that will be obviously come over the next few weeks. Right, Ollie, you ready? Some have said that the greatest preseason performance happened this weekend. Tell us about it.
Some have said, not myself. Obviously, I'm one to stay pretty calm, never get too carried away with things. But a pretty good performance from Shadur Sanders in his debut. Obviously, all eyes were on him because it's Shadur Sanders. He's gotten more talk than even Cam Ward, the first overall pick, which is just pretty funny. But no, he's all the talk of town. He played well, and let's hope he can keep playing well in the preseason and keep the storyline going that is good for the NFL and good for all the engagement for all of us that cover the NFL, especially me as a Browns fan and a Browns content creator.
Did you also like him going up to Tony Grosso?
Him going up to Tony Grossi is
already
etched himself in a Browns folklore. I mean, Baker Mayfield didn't handle that situation very well in his rookie year. Not many do. So for him to handle that situation with Tony and have Tony backpedaling, which I've never seen before, was pretty awesome. So he's definitely got the confidence, that's for sure. Whether he can play, we'll have to wait and see.
I think some more positive news from preseason week 1 is that obviously anybody who watched the Falcons-Lions first game will know the horrendous injury that Maurice Norris took and the fact the game got stopped in the final quarter. But news from Lions camp today is that he is back home in Detroit. He is in hospital in Detroit. He's on a concussion protocol, but he is recovering and on the road to getting better. So obviously we all wish him a speedy recovery on that journey. It's not easy.
Yep.
Yeah, that was nasty.
That was horrible to watch.
Nasty to watch. But moments like that, as horrible as they are, but when you see what both Lions and Falcons players were doing at the same time, and how they all kind of came together, hurdled around him. And whether you believe in it or not, to stand there and just pray for him over him was a lovely, lovely sight to see. Everyone kind of just come together and be there for a fellow colleague, fellow football player. It was a beautiful thing to see. So the only other thing I think I got from two things I got from preseason was he only went and did it. The number 2 overall pick, he went and played both sides of the ball in preseason. Caught his first NFL catch.
Though.
Yeah.
Cooked a little bit though. No, I'm joking. I'm obviously just saying that to be passed up on him, but it was funny. It is funny though. Just like, and it's like they slap the stat line. It's like, just don't put the stat line up there. Just put the highlight. Because it's like two catches, 9 yards. Woo!
Can I just be the Debbie Downer here? I find the preseason to be the biggest waste of all of our time.
It is.
I hate that we're even talking about it.
But it's the only thing we have to talk about right now.
Well, and I don't want to excuse my language. I don't want to poop on your Browns like getting that when that quarterback situation.
This is the best week of the year. All right.
Yeah. Well, no, and I hate it because I love you, Ali. I want good things for you. I want good things for your team. I want you to be happy. But I just find it to be such a complete waste of our time. It
is. Let's be honest. The joint practices are more important.
But that said, I'm a complete hypocrite because on Friday night, Meg, I was sitting there and texting call Fletch right before the game. Was there ready for watching just preseason football. But anyway.
the minute that Helm ran through that Lions player in the first quarter, Fletch just messaged me like, he is cruising, mate. He's cruising.
No, that was cruising for a bruising. Those were some big hits for a preseason game. But I was gonna say, Chapman, I was wondering if it would be up to me to expose the whole 12:30 in the morning, texting me updates. Oh, that's a clean hit, by the way.
That's the only thing I texted you after we talked. That's it. I would have bet at halftime. I was like, I've seen enough. That's great. But can we? The only thing I think we should talk about. Sorry, Fletch. I'm going to steal your thunder for a second. The thing we should talk about is how hideous that Tom Brady statue that I watched be unveiled.
They always are.
It's so like who are these people that they're getting? Anyway, I want to make fun of Tom Kraft for his speech, but it'd be elder abuse, and that's not nice. But you're just waiting for games to start, and I'm like, why are they unveiling the greatest player in the history of their franchise, his statue in a preseason game? Does it make sense?
Chapman, I didn't make a speech of any kind. I think you meant Robert Kraft, but
sorry, yeah, Tom Robert Kraft.
And also, you say not to be on the elderly. If there's any elderly people you should talk poo about, Robert Kraft is probably one of them. So.
Yes, yeah, very true. I would say one thing for the preseason that everyone's going to overreact to as well is the bust watch on Aston Genty, even though he only had like 4 carries.
Yeah.
What he ran for minus 3 yards? So people are already saying, it's going to be the biggest bust of the century or what have you.
That's what preseason is, though. It's for overreactions. It's for people. I mean, the year the Browns went 0-16, they went 3-0 in the preseason. Everyone was there going, "Yeah, this is going to be a good year," and then you don't 0-16. As Chapman said, it means absolutely. Yeah, same with the Lions in their years. It means absolutely nothing.
The Patriots went 0-3 and then went 16-0 before that.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, but as NFL fans, it's all we have at the minute, and as a Browns fan, it's all I have all year. So,
when you watch your franchise quarterback Michael Vick get tackled in a preseason game and break his leg playing the Baltimore Ravens, and he's out for an entire season,
no, it's never great.
You absolutely can't stand it for the rest of your life. It scars you like you've never been scarred before. I would say this: did anybody see? Because they're using the new ball measuring, which I don't know what it's called. What do we call it?
I don't know, but it takes longer.
It does it. I didn't really.
Well, maybe that's just the Browns game, and everything with the Browns is terrible. But it literally, even the commentators were like, "Right, so hold on a minute. It's taking like twice as long. So this is not really doing anything, is it?"
Well, I guess they didn't change it because of the efficiency. They changed it because they want to get a more accurate spot.
Yeah.
But still, it's the spot that the referee on the ground gets it, which makes
So it's still is exactly it's the same human error and the same problems can still happen, but it takes twice as long.
Yeah.
Very, very odd.
The only thing I think I want to take it is, by the way, the most common thing I've said all week is it's the preseason FFS is something I typed about 50 times this week. It's the preseason in response, particularly in response to the Ashton Genty thing. Is he a bust now? It's the preseason, for fuck's sake. And as much as, but the one thing
This ain't the Man of West
is interesting, no matter what time of year it is Cam Little hitting a 70-yard field goal. That's impressive.
Yeah,
that was impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, warm weather, nice stadium to pitch it in. I'll say that he plays in the AFC South. He'll have a few domes to pitch in this year. So all I'm saying is he ain't doing that in Cleveland.
He also missed a 57-yarder straight after, but
if they want to keep trying 70-yard field goals, as someone that owns their first round pick, keep trying it, please. Keep trying it through the season. Because some of them are going to get returned.
Yeah, fair. You still get the same amount of points for a 70-yarder, though.
Exactly.
Not in fantasy football, you don't.
Yeah.
So again, if they want to keep trying them, as long as they make them, I don't think I own Cam Little, but okay. So that is enough.
Mate, that's because you're in 46 different leagues. You probably own every single NFL player across all your teams.
34 actually. I declined the 35th.
You probably literally have every team's 53-man roster on your fantasy.
Now, a lot of them are. I'm going to do a series, but a lot of them are actually repeats, so we're all good.
Okay, so to appease the just about everyone at this point, there is not much more left to talk about as far as preseason goes. It was week 1. If you're really that desperate for it, the highlights are on YouTube. Go and have a look at them.
Especially the Shadow highlights.
Chapman.
Yes.
Today we're going to preview the AFC. Next week we'll do the NFC, but we're not going to be boring like those other NFL pods out there. You've come up with a very, very slick, suave, and fun way of doing this preview. Take it away.
All right. So every season, well, the last 2 seasons we've been on the air, we obviously go over the divisions in each conference, starting with the AFC, like most NFL podcasts do. But we're going to try to do a little bit of a wrinkle this year. And what I've asked everybody to do is come up. Each division has 4 teams. But with this game, we're going to play marry, shag, or kill one of the teams in each division. Now, you're saying there's only 3 options, but there's 4 teams. Yes, that's correct. So one team you don't care about, or you do care about and you leave them out because that's how much you hate them. But you can marry a team, whether you think they're going to be the team that finishes first in that division, or they're your favorite team, or you really are rooting for them this season. The team that you kill, you kill them for a specific reason, whether you think they're going to finish last, whether you just really hate them, yada, yada, yada. And then shag is, again, dealer's choice, what you think about that team. So we're going to see how this goes. It may completely bomb, but we like to try things here on the Herd of the Line network. So I thought it would be a fun game. So we obviously have two guys who root for AFC teams, and they will respectively be covering their divisions first. So we're going to go north, south, east, west. Ollie, I've asked to do the north first, and then we'll hear what he has to say, and then we'll talk about it. Then we'll go south. I'm going to take the south just because of, unless Meg, you would like to take the south, I'd be happy for you to do it as well. Just give me a yes or no in the chat. Then we'll go east, if Fletch could do east. And then Tom, if you can, of course, obviously do the AFC West. Does everybody have any questions before we get in? So it's going to be marry, shag, kill. You can do it in any order you want. And the idea being that you make your own rules for what that means to you. That's sort of what the game is. All right.
Yep.
It can be different for every division, by the way.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. So we're going to start with it. And AFC, I keep saying AFC North. Now, really quickly, Ollie, before we get started, I just want to give you the odds for the division for this season. Baltimore Ravens are -150 to win the division. Cincinnati Bengals are plus 260. Pittsburgh Steelers are plus 500, and then your Cleveland Browns are plus 3,500 to win the division this year, which, hey, put a dollar on that, man.
I
So
wouldn't advise it, even a
go
dollar.
for it.
I'm very surprised you've allowed me to be the guinea pig of this experiment.
I would not have it any other way.
I'm appreciative of it. I'm obviously, of course, going to take it with the very spin I always do. So Mary is obvious. My sweet, loving Cleveland Browns, the love of my life. Not many people have made me more upset, angry, depressed, annoyed. But we love them the same. That's what partners are for. So I
So
will,
it
of
sounds
course.
like marriage to me.
I was going to say,
Exactly. To all the married lot out there, you know how that feels. I will, of course, marry my Cleveland Browns. Shag, the Cincinnati Bengals, best looking. I'm a disgusting guy, so they're the best looking uniforms. Of course, that's where my mind goes to. But I feel like the biggest reason is that Joe Burrow will take sweet tender care of me. I feel like that is a man who likes to please his significant other. That is not a man that gets his own and then is finished. I feel like that is a man that takes his time and likes to.
he's a giver.
He's a giver. I'm sure of that, and I'm sure as afterwards we can have lots of cool conversations because he's a very very interesting guy. Kill, you probably all going to think that what team I'm going to say, but I'm actually not going to say that team. I am going to say the Ravens because they killed my team in 1995 and stole my team away. And what they deserve is probably not to be killed, but in this exercise, I am going to be sticking the knife in the Ravens and reclaiming what is mine, taking my Super Bowls back, all two of them, to go with my 8 NFL championships. So that would get us to 10. I think that would be the lead. That leaves out the Steelers. Why? Because I hate them so much, but I'll never change it. They feel the same as much as they hate to admit it. When the NFL voted for the Browns to move to Baltimore, they were one of 2 teams that voted no and said no, we want to keep the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland for our rivalry. So that's why I've decided not to kill them and keep the rivalry going. That is my job.
I love how literally you took this exercise. Thank you very much. I don't know if anyone's going to beat that, but you never know. Ollie, in all seriousness, can you give us what your just your quick
Yep.
minute?
The Ravens are going to dog walk the division. Absolutely dog walk the division. It's not even going to be close. They will probably win the division by Christmas. Do we get 2 playoff teams? Maybe. If we do, I would probably go towards the Bengals. That offense would be too hard to stop, and they blow teams away. But their defense is really, really bad. I would not be surprised if they finished 9-8, 8-9 around that range. But if there was to be a second team, I think it would be the Bengals. Steelers, look, they're going to prove me wrong as they always do. I've been saying this for 5 bloody years now. But I just think the Aaron Rodgers is not going to work. I think the Aaron Rodgers juju will overrun the Mike Tomlin juju, and this will be the year that they finish with a losing record. 8-9, 7-10, around there. And in the Cleveland Browns, I think they will win more games than the bookies think. I think they'll win more games than a lot of people think. I don't think they're going to be the worst team in the NFL. I think they will be a sneaky team in terms of 6, 7, 8 wins. We'll have to wait and see. But that's my thoughts. Overall, I'm very hate to say it, but the Ravens are going to dog walk it.
Excellent as always, Ollie. Anybody else want to jump in? Anybody else have any just quick AFC North Mary Shag kill?
Well, it's not so much a Mary Shag kill on the sense that we've spoke for the last few years, and I've been more than willing to say the AFC North has been the toughest, arguably the toughest division in football. Do you think that is still the case right now?
No, but And even when I say the Ravens in a dog walk it, they're still probably only going to win 12 games because that's just being in the AFC. It's quite hard to go and win 15 games like some of these teams do in the AFC North because you have to play that division 6 times a year. I still think the division is going to be competitive within itself. It always is. Even when the Browns are crap, they've given other teams good games and vice versa. I say vice versa, like the Browns are ever good. But do you know what I mean? So they'll beat each other, but the worst teams like the Browns and the Steelers will lose their other games. They've all got a pretty tough schedule outside of the AFC North as well. So yeah, when I say they'll dog walk it, I don't mean they're going to go 15-2.
Yeah.
I just mean they'll probably finish with 12, win Cincinnati with 8 or 9, and then us and the Steelers down at about 7.
Yeah,
I'm with you on killing the Ravens.
Sure, yeah.
I'm also with you on the idea that Joe Burrow will be sweet, sensual, and just great to hang out with afterwards.
And he plays piano, so I feel like he could set the mood as well.
So what you're saying is good finger skills as well as part of that.
Yes, it's what I was subtly saying, but well done, Fletch.
I'm not hosting this bit. I can kind of go a bit off key. So
he's gone rogue, guys. He's gone rogue.
Always does. I would just like to tell you, do you know how many quarterbacks over the age of 42 have started more than 10 games in a season in the NFL?
Tom Brady.
That's one.
It.
That's right.
I just don't see it working. I do not see it working.
I just think they could have done so many different things, and it's just interesting. So, I am actually with you, Ollie, on the Browns being like, people forget this is like a playoff team 2 years ago, but
the defense will keep them in a lot of games.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's more the obviously not having the most, not really having consistency at the hardest position in sports, then also the teams you're going to play, even though you will be playing a fourth place schedule, but it's,
as always, it's usually always hard, even when it is a fourth place schedule.
So, does anybody else have anything on the AFC North?
No. I think I summed it up pretty perfectly.
Tom, I thought you were going to come in and tell us all about how the Browns were going to win the division then, but fine, that's fine.
No, I mean, I agreed that the Ravens are going to win a division. I do think, as you said, the Browns are actually going to win more games than people think because, their defense is still stacked. And offensively, they can't be worse than they were last year. So,
I mean, they look better. As we said, it's preseason, it's nothing, but they looked better in one preseason game than they did in any game last year, just in terms of just even getting the operations running.
All right, let's move on. AFC South. I'm going to start this one if that's cool. Meg, if you came up with something on your end, please just jump in right after mine. All right. So I'm not going to be quite as literal or sensual as Ollie was with his. For me, just before we get started, so the Houston Texans are favored to win this division, plus 115. Jacksonville right behind them at minus 115. Jacksonville plus 300. Colts weirdly also plus 300, and then the Titans are plus 700. Expect to finish last year. So I'm going to marry the Houston Texans. Obviously, they've been the class of this division the last 2 years. And I think that they will continue to be, depending on how C.J. Stroud does this year. I am going to shag the Tennessee Titans because I think Cam Ward has a chance to be special. I watched a lot of him last year. I don't quite believe in that coach, but I'm excited to see what he can do. And I think that team has just been nobody thinks or talks about them. And I don't know. I'm just a little intrigued. And then finally, I'm going to kill the Jacksonville Jaguars because I am so over listening to like the Trevor Lawrence conversation. It's just like, it's boring me to death. I'm sure Liam Cohen's going to be a good coach. He did wonders obviously with Mayfield last year, and I'm excited to see, there is some talent on that team, but like, I'm just over that team, like from top to bottom. And I didn't even do anything with the Colts because I don't want to watch 1 second of the Indianapolis Colts this year, except for when I go over to Berlin and see them play the Falcons. But that's the only time I want to watch anything to do with the Colts this entire season. So they're just not even, they don't even get recognized. I'm killing the Jacksonville, but like out of like a hate kill where I like, it's kind of fun to hate them. Whereas the Colts, I just don't even want to think about them as even an NFL franchise this year. See you next year, possibly. Um, yeah, see, it's not as cool as Ollie, but at least I had a take. So, Meg, you got anything for the AFC South that you maybe want to throw at us?
Um, I was going to say I would see Titans would be my probably my marry because I want to live in Nashville. There's my only reason that I can think of that anybody wants to marry the Titans. Uh, but also like that QB is quite young, so let's not go down that road. And then I would
He's above legal age.
yeah,
He's 23.
I know, but still, that's 10 years. Like I'm not going to Cougar Town yet, thanks. Um,
You should wait till you
Texans.
see that rookie contract.
Yeah, well, look at what happened there with what's his name? Texans would probably be my shag, to be fair. Uh, I just think they've got a bit of fire behind them that is unexpected. It comes out at unexpected times. Um, I would kill off the Jags purely because I just feel like London is a bit tired, and if it's the only games we're going to get, can we like maybe rotate to somebody new because the Jags are terrible and they ain't fun to watch. Travis Hunter might bring a bit of fire, but like let's be honest, nobody needs that double threat against them. And then yeah, the Colts I'm really not arsed about, to be honest. And I think their quarterback just needs to like stop being a big baby and like man up a little bit or woman up, grow some ovaries. There we
Did he
go.
break his finger?
He didn't break it. It's not even broken.
It's not broken.
It's
What did
not broken.
What did he do to it?
I think he dislocated it.
Saved it or dislocated
Yeah,
it.
dislocated.
Yeah.
Dislocated.
Yeah, no. Get a grip and don't walk off on your team.
I'm gonna
Is-
provide
you
some
got some
pushback.
clutch?
I'm gonna provide some pushback on
Oh,
you.
here we go.
Right?
We got a Jags lover here, I think.
No, I won't say a Jags lover, but I'm gonna say put some respect on the Jags name. Now, if you want to marry someone, what you do need, you're putting down a commitment, right? You want to be with someone through thick and thin. You want someone that's gonna stand by your side. Now, what the Jacksonville Jaguars have done for the UK game by commit every year through thick and thin, they turn up. Yes, they're terrible. Yes, it's a complete poo show, but they turn up every time, on time. Who doesn't want that level of commitment?
Fletch,
Plus,
that is why
and
you're still married and I'm not.
right. Well, then, who are we going to take the marriage advice from here, right? Okay. But also, look at what they've done with Trevor Lawrence. It's the money they've given him, even though he's not that good. Like, even if you're terrible, they'll treat you right. Like,
Falcons do that. We're fine.
So wait, you're marrying out of all four of these teams, you would marry the Jacksonville Jaguars only because they come in.
No.
Well, if we're talking literal sense, I mean, he's got to put. I mean, I would not want to marry Houston. I mean, they are definitely cheating out in the clubs.
Love that.
But Nashville, I think maybe would be a good shout as well. I feel like
I think Meg nailed it on that one.
Yeah,
Said it.
so I think that's not the worst shout from Fletch.
But your Texans are like your cheeky side chick. They are just a bit fiery.
Have you guys ever been to Jacksonville?
No.
No, and I don't plan to.
Yeah, well, yeah,
but that's
exactly.
it. That's it. They'll move.
Good point. Good
When
point.
you get
There's
married,
nothing about Jacksonville that moves me to be.
when you get married, they'll move. They'll move in with you. You don't have to move in with
Are they
them.
finally
They'll
going to
move in
become
with
the
you.
London Jaguars if we get married?
So, but like I say, if we want to take this literally, I'm going to push back on the marriage and say no one's shown commitment like the Jags. No one said they'll stand by you through thick and thin like the Jags and still try and give you the world, even though you offer them nothing in return. I'd stick with the Jags.
I'm going to join with Fletch because I've just realised if we kill them, I lose my first round pick next year.
Okay.
So wait, let's get a consensus though, for real. What do we think what's going to happen in this division this year? Fletch, I mean, like putting all jokes aside, do you actually feel like they have
It's gonna be a dumpster fire division to watch.
Yeah,
I don't want to watch any of this division.
I don't even think the Texans.
I don't care. The Texas defense. That's like the only thing I want to watch, basically.
And Cam Ward. I want to watch Cam Ward.
I want to watch a little Cam Ward. I think he's tough. I think he's got a tough year ahead of him, but I hope to see some.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Texans will probably just nudge it because of their defense, as you said, Tom, and the experience that they've got playoff experience with that core. But I think I would generally not be shocked if Jacksonville won the division or if somehow the Titans won the division. I think it's that wide open. I mean, outside of their defense and quarterback, I mean, Houston's O-line is terrible. They have literally no one in that running back room.
No one.
Obviously, other than Nick Chubb, who's coming off of 2 season-ending injuries. So
the ghost of Nick Chubb.
Yeah. And I mean, even their head coach has basically said that, which is obviously depressing to say, to see. I think this division is wide open, apart from, as you both pointed out, the Colts. They're just the ones.
Sorry, Ollie. Who was that again?
The Colts. Guys, I think
that is an elite throwback. That is an elite level throwback.
If we get that clip up, I can guarantee you that I say Colts more in that clip than I will during the whole season.
Colts. Yeah,
I reckon it's probably going to get mentioned more.
Meg, this was early days. We'll have to offline you on this at some point.
But yes, you are right, Tom. Colts.
And I came right in and said, "Did anybody hear how many times Ollie said Colts?"
If we're talking strictly football in perspective, I will say that like the commitment from the Jaguars is a little bit creepy, and we may need a restraining order. If not, by 2028, if you keep sending them over, we'll consider it a war crime. That I don't hate the Jags that much, to be fair. I don't like them. I don't hate them. They're very
why are we
average.
continuing to
They're
talk
below
about
average because I don't see the point in killing them. I don't think they're important enough to kill. I don't think that they're significant enough to kill. They're inoffensive.
Yeah, the Colts are too historic to kill.
I would definitely just kill the Colts.
Nah, they're too historic.
For what they did to Baltimore, kill them off.
Yeah, but I like that because fuck Baltimore. Sorry, screw Baltimore.
I'm vetoing any more AFC South talk.
Yeah, we can't
on this division.
We stay away.
All right, we got two divisions that are way more interesting to talk about to go. All right, Fletch, AFC East. I'm going to quickly read out the division odds here. Buffalo Bills minus 300, the biggest favorite in all the divisions in the AFC. The New England Patriots coming in at second, plus 550. Miami is at plus 800, and then the Jets are a whopping plus 1600. If you want to know what these numbers are, Google gambling on your own time. All right, Fletch, marry, shag, kill the AFC East. Go.
Okay, so I'm marrying the Bills. I feel like it's a pretty obvious answer, but they're consistent. You know what you're getting out of them at this point, and if you want to go along the lines of how well he went with this, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Josh Allen's face every day when I come home. I won't mind it. A little bit jealous of Haley Steinfeld there.
He's got a very kind face. He's got it's a very kind face.
And if you
great jawline.
I mean, I've watched some stuff of him over the years, but even watching that first episode of Hard Knocks, he just seems really nice and grateful for everything he's got. So again, I feel like he'd treat you right in a marriage. I would shag the Patriots. They're just in that division. Because unfortunately, I have one of only 4 choices one of 3 at this point. They're the slightly more interesting option. They're the slightly spicier option. I like Drake May. Both Ollie and I last year. Again, as I said last week, we were high on Drake May going into last season, coming out with UNC, and I feel like either way, it's going to be interesting. Whatever time you spend with him is going to be interesting. I'm killing the Dolphins. Purely because, as funny as Mike McDonald is, and he's got a great personality, at the end of the day, shit in bed or poo in bed. He's gonna be terrible. He's not gonna pull through. It's gonna be a poor experience. And that personality you're gonna walk away thinking, that personality just isn't enough.
I don't know.
As charming as he was individually, the Jets.
It's going to be weird and freaky, that's for sure.
The Jets, if you would be following on from last season, then obviously you'd want to kill the Jets. But I like Aaron Glenn. I think he'll be a decent head coach. I'm interested to see how they kind of react with Justin Fields and how different how that's going to work out, how that dynamic is. I just don't know enough about them. I think there's a lot of I just don't know. So I don't want to make a definitive statement on him. So I'm going to marry the Bills. I'm going to shag the Patriots, and then just bin off the Dolphins. Sorry, Andy Davis.
I'm surprised you didn't shag the Dolphins, to be honest.
Why?
South Beach.
I actually was surprised
Miami,
you didn't shag the
baby.
Jets.
Why?
Well, just because of Aaron Glenn and like, you know.
Oh, I did it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Aaron Glenn
think
is
I
his
think
guy.
I would shag the Dolphins because it's going to be fun while it lasts.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what they say
for
about
4 weeks in September.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what?
basically. That's it. When it gets to cold weather conditions, you don't want to be there.
Yeah, but
But,
that's what the side
in
piece is
September,
for.
in the beautiful sunshine, yes.
Exactly. And what you said about the coach, I mean, you know what they say about skinny tall guys. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, this is not what I was expecting this to be, but I don't know why I expected it
What
to be
was
any
right?
different. Exactly. What was my expectation? I don't know.
No. That's not the question. What was our last episode's name, and who named it at the end of that
That's a
episode?
great
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
That's a
very good
Yeah,
great
but
point.
that
point.
was
Very
all
good
because
point, that.
I always just say the last thing that comes to my head. Like,
Oh.
and that happens. So anyway, all right, let's get back to business here, guys. Does anybody else have any hard takes on this? Because I've got a little bit of an AFC axe to grind.
Yeah, me too.
Maggie,
Uh,
please go first.
I'm killing the Patriots for
Well, that's
obvious reasons.
obvious for us.
Yeah, no, I also find their their fans are very stuck. Like round about 8 years ago, like some sort of time warp, and so I feel like just do them a favor and put them out of their misery. So because they're never going to catch up on those 8 years now. So yeah, bye.
Fletch, I think you had something. I mean, Ollie, sorry, not Fletch. Ollie, were you about to say something?
I was well when you went to bring it back to being seriousness. I was going to just try and so yeah, Bills are going to storm it.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of expect that. I don't think anyone. That's why they're the most favoured. Patriots might be frisky, but me and you, Chapman, I think said this the other week. I don't think they're going to be quite as good as some people think they are going to be in terms of 9 and 10 wins. Jets are going to be crap as always, and Miami, as we've all just said, will be good for a few weeks and then will completely fall off.
Mike McDaniel's going to get fired.
Yeah. I kind of have a feeling that Miami might be the worst team in this division by far, and I actually could see that. I think I am with Fletch on Aaron Glenn, right? I think he's going to bring a level of competency, and there'll just be a floor. I don't think he's a guy that puts up with a lot of like. I love the fact that he had Rodgers get on a plane only to tell him he didn't want him to be his quarterback. It's kind of awesome. And I know that sounds like silly and it's kind of petty, but it's also like he's like, yeah, we're not putting up with crap. So I'm interested to see where they are in the next couple of years. I don't think it's going to be an overnight thing for them, but
No.
Ollie, this whole thing with the Pats, man, and I know I'm in an ecosystem of listening to podcasts in America that for some reason are very pro Boston. I mean, you could imagine which ones those are. Yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, I guess did Drake May look so amazing that like they're just going to win 6 more games this year? Like what?
I think the biggest thing is the coach, but it's like, yes, he's a good head coach, but he did take a year out from coaching. It's not like I don't think it's going to just straight away be right. We're the old Patriots, but instead of Bill Belichick, we got Vrabel. I do think it is going to take some time. I think Drake May's going to be really good, but as we said last week, I just don't think they've not completely overhauled the roster, and it's like kind of like the Texans did, and it was like, wow, this is really flashy. It's like they've added a couple of pieces. Yes, you expect the jump from Drake May, but I just don't see that equating to what another 6 wins.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
their wide receiver personnel, like it's not really. It doesn't wow you, does it? Like it's
yeah.
like, it's
when
the
not if
corpse of Stephon Diggs, and it's like Pop Douglas. Like anyone else stick out? Like not really.
when not if Stephon Diggs gets injured. You know what I mean?
Or banned.
Or
Week
banned
7.
for doing drugs on a
Week
boat.
7 he's going to get injured, guaranteed.
Yeah, I just maybe they like. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh my god, I can't believe they won 9 games. If they do, I'm not going to be like, wow. But I do think it is. Yeah, I do think it is a little bit. as we always do, we like to. Everyone likes to be early on teams. I think everyone likes to be the first one to say, "Oh, this team's going to be really good next year," and they've just kind of been identified as one of those teams to you can jump on with that.
Yeah, but I also think people are just finding things to talk about, and I don't know,
And it's the Patriots. They've got a
it's
very big
Patriots, yeah,
market, so
exactly, yeah, exactly. So,
it's good for
um,
the NFL when they're good. So people want that, don't they? So.
yeah, Bills division to lose.
Definitely.
And honestly, I feel like this has got to. I think we've said this 3 years in a row, but it just really feels like this has to be the year that he either does it or doesn't. You know what I mean? So I know Tom, I know you have your opinions, Tom, but it's like who knows? All right. Anything else on the AFC East before we move to our final division? Nope. Awesome. All right. AFC West. Tom has been suspiciously kind of quiet this whole episode. I mean, you've said some things, but anyway. So let's go through the odds, and I will throw it to you, Tom. Not surprisingly, the Kansas City Chiefs are the favorite to win, -110. Denver Broncos, second place, +300. The Los Angeles Chargers, +330, so a close third. And then the Las Vegas Raiders in last place, +1200. Tom, Mary, Shag, Kill, AFC West.
Well, pretty self-explanatory. Marry, obviously, I'm going to marry, my sweetheart, Kansas City Chiefs.
Did not expect that.
Yeah, really, really unexpected that one.
Shocked.
Shooketh.
That sustained success that they've had, blossoming relationship ended in Super Bowls. So, definitely with that one. With the shag, I think I'm gonna shag the Raiders, because it's gonna be an interesting time. Um, whether it's good or bad, it's gonna be interesting. It's either gonna be, an absolute dumpster fire, or there's gonna be some fireworks either way with
What
Pete
happens in
Carroll there,
Vegas?
and with Ashton Genty. So I think I'm gonna shag that, and then I'm gonna kill the Chargers because I couldn't be with them because they would just constantly let me down. Like it would every time that I get excited to, something's gonna happen, it's just not gonna happen because that's what happens with the Chargers every single year. Um, and I'm indifferent to the Broncos, so the Broncos can just stay where they are. But yeah, those that is how I would rank it.
I'm very disappointed in you, Tom, for not killing the Denver. Our arch nemesis is our joint nemesis is the Denver Broncos. You had a chance to redeem some stuff for me there, Tom, and you missed it. It's fine. It's fine.
No, actually, I get what you're saying about the Broncos, but and their defense does scare me, that's for sure. But just the way that the Chargers continuously are like the favorite, or not the favorites, but every year in the preseason, in the lead up to the season, they're like, oh, are they gonna knock off the Chiefs this year? And then they always get like a devastating injury, or it just like falls to pieces. So
And what
I've
happened
got to
this
kill
year?
them and get them out of this.
And what happened in week one of preseason?
Literally, that's what I'm saying.
Devastating injury.
What do we think about Justin Herbert, by the way? We haven't really talked about him as much as I think, if I can remember, in the last year. Like, what is Tom? I'd love to hear your opinion. I mean, you've seen him probably more than
Hmm.
Yeah, I
I.
mean, I do think I think he's a bit overrated in terms of where he's seen, but I do think he's a very good quarterback, but he's
Yeah,
not been able to overcome the challenges that obviously they've had quite a lot of challenges as well. So I'm not expecting him to overcome all of them, but to have not won a playoff game yet in his career for a player of his caliber and his quality, I think that kind of says something. And obviously Jim Harbaugh as well saying that he needs to get the rest of the team up to his level. Obviously, they've invested heavily in that. And then Omarion Hampton, the running back, I think he's going to have a really, really good year. And they need that because if you look at their run game last year, people are like, oh, they're putting up numbers. They were terrible. They really were not good as soon as J.K. Dobbins went down injured. They would just became one dimensional. They were just not a good team. So, but yeah, I think it's the most competitive the division's been in a while, and I'm excited to see that as well. So yeah, we'll have to see how it turns out. But yeah, I'd love to hear you got your guys' thoughts.
We've had a few debates on Justin Herbert, me and Tom, over since we've known each other over the last couple of years. I mean, I was someone that was in the Justin Herbert boat, shall we say, was defending him at first, but I think even now, even me I have to kind of admit that, at one point you do have to start winning. When you are as talented and surrounded with as much talented with him. I think what you said is a really good point, Tom, in terms of bringing everyone else with him. I think he has all the talent. I think he's one of the most talented. I'd argue he's a top five most talented quarterback in the NFL. But the issue is, I think it's the other stuff. I think it's the confidence, it's the leadership, it's everything else that goes into being a quarterback that I think he lacks. I think that's the reason why he's not been as successful. But as you said, so I think this is going to be the best that the West has been since Patrick Mahomes has been there. I think they're going to give him his biggest test with the Chargers and the Broncos, not obviously the Raiders. But I say that, with Geno Smith and Ashton Gentry, they could be frisky. They could win some games they're not supposed to. I'm looking forward to watching this division this year.
I am too. I actually think this is my favorite division of all football this year. I'm actually very excited to watch these games, these division games. And I agree with you on the Raiders. Like, I think they're a team that I'm actually putting a little bit, not like, oh, I think they could be bored. Like, just Pete Carroll brings again a competency. Gino knows he's like, it's not like, it's not what we think about when they're the John Gruden Raiders, right? Where it's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
Williams man. So I don't know. There's like part of me that wants to kind of like sprinkle some money on the overs, maybe a little bit, but like I don't want to get too excited, because there's still this division still so. But the games they're probably going to be most keyed in on are going to be these division games because they know these teams better than they know any of the others. So, Meg Fletch, do you guys have anything about the AFC West that you're excited about? Do you have a Mary Shag kill within this division you want to share?
No.
I really like Amari in Hampton, to be fair. I have had eyes on him since before the draft. Thought he was a really decent pick for, but yeah, it's definitely not the division I'm most excited to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, Obviously, NFC South is going to be the best division for us all. Joking. Uh, no, but out of the AFC, I would say it's definitely the best division to watch.
Why you, Fletch?
Yeah, I genuinely think, and this is no disrespect to talk about, I'm still blown back by your decision to marry the Chiefs. I just didn't expect it. But it is one of those where I genuinely think that, with all due respect to the Chiefs, any one of three teams I think could take that, could take the division. And look, you obviously have to go into it saying it's the Chiefs until it's not. End of story. Andy Reid is the best coach in the league. Patrick in the division. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the division. The Chiefs are generally the best roster in the division. But we'll wait and see. One thing I'm really interested to see, um, is how Jim Harbaugh and Amari and Hampton kind of set that up and how they can set that up then for Justin Herbert to see how to get that passing game going, because we know that Jim Harbaugh likes to balance through the running game. He likes to get the running game going. And if that, again, like I said, that can unlock or try and get some things going for Herbert, maybe. And we know that's where that's where he's going to start, or at least kind of get that game plan going. So it's be interesting to see that. I think they were, well, what about just slightly below middle of the pack last season in terms of rushing yards by team. I'd expect that to go up now they've got someone like an Amari and Hampton. But it is really, really, really fun. And the one thing that we know is gonna be is it's the one of the years now where the Chiefs really can't afford to say, look, we're gonna kind of dog walk this division now. They're gonna keep that division going until week 16, until week 17, until week 18. And if it means that we get to see Patrick Mahomes at his best until week 18, if it means that we get to see, more of what we saw off the Broncos, then that just means we get more and more great football this year because when the AFC West is purring. So
I
very,
think I
very
think the team
excited.
that wins this division probably wins it with 12 wins as well. I don't think it's going to be a 13, 14 win team.
Yeah.
even for me as as a Chiefs fan, I'd love for them to win that many games, but
Yeah.
looking at the division this year, it's just so much tougher. I mean, the Broncos, I think, have the best defense in the NFL, probably behind the Texans, to be honest. So they terrify me on defense because their front seven is insane.
Yeah,
The
I'd
back
say the
end is
Broncos over
insane. Their
Texans.
depth is ridiculous. They got Dre Greenlaw as well, like a linebacker. So like they cook. So yeah, really, really excited to watch this division this year unfold.
I I think the best thing about this division is it doesn't matter what you like in terms of like what you're a fan of, what's your style. It has everything, as you said, Tom. Like
Mhm.
it's got one of the best defensive teams in the NFL. It's got a team that's got Jim Harbaugh as the head coach with Amari and Hampton. If you like running the football, you're going to see a lot of that there. If you like watching good quarterback play, you've got Justin Herbert, you've got Patrick Mahomes. I just feel like it has everything for everyone. Like any, doesn't matter what NFL fan you are, what type of niche you have within it, you can get enjoyment out of this division.
I've
I
also
want
got a hot take for this division is
Go
that
for it.
the I think Bo Nix might be better than Justin Herbert this year.
What it
Well,
statistically or
yeah,
performance wise.
statistically or wins.
Um, in terms of statistic wise, I think he might throw for more touchdowns.
Well, he did last year, didn't he?
I think he did last year,
Yeah,
right?
he did. I think Herbert only threw for like 20 some odd.
20, it was
Yeah.
like 24, I think maybe.
Yeah,
But
and
he only
yeah,
threw like three picks, but only threw four in the playoff game. But
Like
we don't go to that.
not
yeah.
not to be that guy, but again, if the Chargers play the way you kind of think they're gonna play, they're gonna be running the ball more naturally, and the Broncos
Mm.
will be throwing the ball more naturally. But I was gonna say, who would really want to see who likes Jim Harbaugh style football? I don't know who would in this podcast.
I don't know, probably someone that was born in 1936, I guess.
Um, I'll take it. I just can't think of who would be a fan of Jim Harbaugh football.
This is a audio podcast, Fletch. So
And it's a legitimate question. I'm just thinking out loud. Who would? I don't know.
But
You're right. I mean, you're right.
if
Not
you
many
want me
people.
to rank the teams in a division though, I'll go Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders.
yeah,
Yeah, that's about
which is
right.
the odds. That's
And
my Vegas
to
season.
to bring it back to the last fun point on what Tom said is, I think picking Las Vegas for your shad is a great answer
Come on.
because what happens in Vegas
Stay in
stays
Vegas.
in Vegas. Tom can get as freaky as he likes.
All that goes through my head though is you think you're getting Mad Max, and then Pete Carroll turns up in that
Yep,
bedroom, and you're thinking you made the
100%.
wrong fucking decision. One thing though that does get me so real quick is I went on BetMGM before, and I was getting the win totals up as well. Obviously, Chapman, you've got the division odds. Chiefs at 11.5, the Broncos and the Chargers at 9.5, and Vegas at 7.5. Now, four games separating the win totals of all four teams in the division. That usually spells that there's a lot of talent. Either there's a lot of talent in the division, and that is going to be competitive and fun. But Tom, like you say, someone's going to win it. It's probably going to be with 12. With 12, you're saying smash Chiefs on the over there at 11.5. Is that what we're saying? Smash it on the over.
Yes, do it.
Okay.
I wouldn't smash it. I wouldn't smash it. I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
well, that's one of the things I actually wanted to just kind of come
Delicate.
back to is it's interesting. We haven't really talked that much about the Chiefs and Tom. I know we go back. I have a immense amount of respect for both Andy Reid and obviously Patrick Mahomes, what he's done. But I've also always because you had already made him the GOAT of all NFL before anything had ever. So I kind of like, just like to press the pause on that. But one of the things I think is interesting is, having watched like Michael Jordan's career, having watched LeBron's career, having watched
Got it.
Tom Brady's career, even watching Joe Montana, it's like growing up, like at certain things, these quarterbacks and these great players, they have to change over time because their body changes, the league, stuff and stuff. So I'm interested to see. I mean, Mahomes was great in those. Obviously, I mean his numbers. I think he's 14-7 in one possession games or something like that. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, and then last year they obviously won. What was the number? Was it
10
10?
one score
Yeah,
games.
yeah. So, and there's just a clutch factor to him that just. But we haven't seen the highs of highs of those 22, of that 22 season, obviously. And again, he doesn't have to be that every year for you guys to win a Super Bowl. We've seen that, or even to make the Super Bowl. But that said, I do think Patrick watched Josh Allen win the MVP last year. He lost the Super Bowl. And the great ones, I'm not saying it has to be this season, but I'm interested to see. He's definitely going to be in his act two now.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm interested to see what that looks like. I also get tired of the same people winning all over the time. So I'm always like, usually in sports, you get to kind of, you bet against that and you usually do win. But, I'm interested to see where this comes. And I think it's cool because I think I mentioned, I don't think you're winning 15 games a few months ago at some point when we were on, and you kind of got a little, and I think you've come back around on that. So I'm interested to see. I mean, I still got you winning this division, but I think it was interesting that you came back down to reality at that 12 mark. So
Yeah, I think it's just when you realize how stacked the other teams are as well, as opposed to the last few years within the division. But I think you're right. I think Mahomes has heard everything that people have been saying. I mean, he said it when he was speaking to Kay Adams or whatever. I've heard people talk and talk and talk this off season about me, about this team and everything. And I think he's going out there with a point to prove, and I think that's a very scary sight for any NFL
Can I
defense.
can I just say though, the whole Chiefs we're the victim stuff that you guys have been doing for the last 4 years. Travis Kelce in every bloody AFC Championship game going, everyone's talking all that crap about it. It's like, who was talking crap about you, bro? Everyone picked you to go to the Super Bowl. You have Patrick Mahomes? What are you talking about? But I get it in terms of, obviously, as you said, Chapman, watching Josh Allen win the MVP. The great ones have to stay motivated no matter how much success they've had. That's what made Michael Jordan so successful. That's what made LeBron so successful. That's why LeBron's the GOAT over Michael Jordan, but that's another story. But yeah, so I think that's why I've seen a lot of people picking Patrick Mahomes for MVP this year. For that, it's that reason. Maybe he has a vengeance tour type, after losing the Super Bowl and kind of seeing his name drop a little bit in that kind of pantheon of quarterbacks. I don't think people are saying it's Patrick Mahomes gap, 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 Josh Allen anymore. I think they're saying, it's the gap's being closed.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. 100%. He's out there to prove that he's, again, the best quarterback in the NFL, and that's what he's going to try and prove this year. So
yeah, I say, like, as you said, about 15 wins. What, 5 teams last year had 13 or more wins? 4 teams had 14 or more. 2 teams ended the season with 15 wins. That's not happening, and I'd be
that's because a
surprised
lot
to
of
see.
teams sucked.
Oh, sorry, but I'd be
well,
surprised to see
Meg and
anything.
I's team actually did beat one of the Super Bowl teams last year and almost beat
Week
both.
2, wasn't it?
Congrats.
Yeah. Well,
Unfortunately, Chapman, as me, you, and Meg all know more than anyone. Unfortunately, that they don't give us the Lombardi for that.
I would say
I'm just saying.
As much as I wish they
I
did.
was getting Fletch off his game. Sorry, Fletch.
The year before that, we beat the Super Bowl champs who went on to win the Super Bowl in their own backyard to start the season.
without Charles Kelce.
That did. I mean niche at the end of the season, really. But I say
Completed squad. Yeah.
two teams winning 15 games. Be surprised if one team wins 15 games this year. Very, very surprised.
If there's a team, it'll be the Bills.
Probably, yeah.
They do an easy schedule across the division. They didn't walk that division. So if anyone finishes with 15, it'll be them.
We are going to be picking.
Yeah.
We are going to be picking our Final Four and Super Bowl picks before the season starts at some point. So save a little bit of that, guys, because we got that talk coming. AFC, even though they did not win the Super Bowl last year, they still are considered the stronger division, mainly because of the quarterbacks.
It's a Josh.
Yeah. So this was really good. This was fun. Thank you, Ollie, for getting us off to a very interesting start with this game. Fletch, I'm going to throw it back to you. Thanks for letting me do this segment.
No worries.
You posted it,
So, okay, we'll do, obviously, say do the Final Four. For the last 2 years, though, I will say 2023, the Bills, the Ravens, the Texans, and the Chiefs won the division. 2024, all 4 teams won the division. I'll actually do one quick button check. No, because the Jags won the South in 2022. Are we going for a three-peat across all divisions then? By the sounds of it, we're all hot on the same teams that won the division last year.
Yes, but the AFC South for me, I do think that could be wide open.
Change hands.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I might go out on a limb and say I think no, because that defense still sucks. I'm taking that back. I was gonna say the Bengals overtake the Ravens because it just feels like
No, yeah, I don't.
yeah, but that's not happening because that defense is just
If there's any that I'm going to go out and say, Tom's going to hate me. But if there's any, I'm going to go out and say I am going to say Broncos
Yeah, I knew you
to
were going
win
to
the
do it.
West. You
As the
never
Broncos
know.
hater as well. Come on,
You
Ali.
bro, it pains me to say it, but as you said, that is arguably the best defense in the NFL. I hate Bo Nix, Tom, and I'm saying this right. So they could be crap, and Bo Nix could resort back to his, whoever self that didn't possess him last year that made him play really well, like the opposite of the Monstars in Space Jam. He actually had powers put into him last season. That's why he was so good, I think. But I think if there's anyone in that, I'm going to go Broncos. But I don't. Yeah, I think we're all pretty much on agreement that it's probably going to be around the same.
Cool.
But it never is, so we'll all be wrong.
I look, I'm not being funny. I think that's it from us today. Don't think to be fair, I've not
Final
actually...
question, Fletch. What's your final question?
Do we still want to do that same one that we were talking about before? Because I'm not sure on it now.
No.
Which one were we?
It's fine.
Well, I'll say it was just me. It was just me, Tom, and Meg. All right, okay, then I'll throw this one out real quick. So we just chatted about random things, Tom, Meg, and I, while we were waiting for these two to actually turn up, and we kind of mentioned some cooking disasters that we had. Most of us during our student days, or some issues we had with cooking. What is the worst cooking disaster that you have personally had? Chapman's got his head in his hands. I know there's a bad one there waiting to come through.
come back to me. I got to think about it for just like 2 seconds.
Okay,
Well,
so
giving myself food poisoning, I suppose.
Oh,
what did you cook?
Guess. What do you think?
Chicken.
old
Well, yeah,
chicken.
but like that's
But no, to be
Why
fair
did
though,
you-
I don't think that was actually. I think that was just the combination of ingredients I made it together was my stomach rejected. Obviously, it wasn't fucking salmonella or anything like that. No, mine's probably setting the fire alarm off in my uni hall's first year, and having my friend have something taken out of his thing because they obviously came into the flat because the thing was going off. Sorry, Dan.
I'll be naming and
Mine was
everything.
also a horse one, Ali, as well.
I say my way. I haven't had too many cooking true disasters, but the worst one I ever had was making toad in the hole. Got a toad in the hole from Iceland when I was a student. Went to cook it, 20 minutes. It looked perfect. I took it out, went to put it on the plate. The top was spectacular. The bottom was like Yorkshire pudding juice. Could not figure out for the life of me why half of it cooked and half of it didn't until I realised I'd whacked the grill on, not the oven. So it just grilled the top of it, and then I was left with I was just very, very sad and hungry that night.
Yeah, I was going to say that was probably your budget that week. So talking about uni.
Yeah.
Mine was probably wasn't even that long ago actually, but my stepmom and I went out and had a lot of alcohol, to the point where I actually don't remember walking in the front door, but at some point we decided that toast and cheese was the best plan, and it's not. It turns out it is not a good plan because even just the grating of that cheese resulted. We grated a full block, and somehow one end of the kitchen to the other end of the living room was covered in grated cheese. We ate a full loaf of bread, and I don't think there was any cheese on any of the slices of toast ever. Like it was just
Toast.
everywhere.
That's standard though. I used to do that when I was drunk in like school. Any house party I'd go to, they'd always hide the bread because I'd get drunk and just stop a whole loaf of bread.
Oh, Fletch, I've just seen your message. You need the uni one.
But also, right, can we just you don't make toast? That's not a thing that you do. Anyway, uni story, please.
I wasn't making the toast. My stepmom was.
Oh,
So.
thank God for that one because
But
then
she butters it cold, so that's also weird.
That's weird.
Right, so I was at uni first year in halls, and we'd been on Freshers Week. We'd been on a night out, and one of the lads had had a Chinese before he went out, and he'd saved some for when he came home. And obviously shared kitchen. I'm in bed. The fire alarm starts to go off. I'm thinking it's somewhere else in the halls of residence. It's not. Our kitchen is on fire. Actual flames, smoke everywhere. because he decided that when he got home, his prawn crackers had gone soggy, so he would put them in the toaster. And when I walked into the kitchen, he was stood over the toaster, filling a glass of water, ready to pour the water on the electrical fire.
Right. Again, this is something I've been working on because I'm desperate to do it on recording. What was the guy's name, Meg?
His name was Ryan.
So what you're saying is Joe McCarthy, Richard Nixon, Studebaker Television, North Korea, South Korea, Marilyn Monroe, Ryan started the fire.
Ryan started the
For
fire.
anyone who watches the US Office, thank you.
That was good.
That's my
That was
mic drop
good.
moment. Good
That was
night.
good. I'm
When he-
surprised you remembered all of that.
Literally, when Fletch asked me earlier, we were talking about this story, and he was like, "But what was the guy's name?" I was like, "Ryan," and he was like, "Stop."
Can we just get a moment? Just please, please, please let the stars align for one thing. The stars aligned, and it's just my favorite day.
I think the best story from all of these stories, sorry, the best lesson to take from all of these stories is don't put a sock on your fire alarm.
Yeah.
Well,
Where should you put that sock, Ollie?
Pardon?
Where should you put that sock?
Oh, well, just not on the fire alarm.
What are we?
My one was I was also in uni as well, and I had one of those boil in the bag rice things. So I put it in the bowl, but then I just completely forgot to put water with it. So I just put it in the microwave in the bowl, and then it just burnt to a crisp. So also sent the fire alarm off, and yeah, that was not a
And did it have a
problem.
sock on it, Tom?
It didn't, no.
Oh, I'm sure it didn't.
Right.
I don't have one good enough to be mentioned in here to even be funny, so I'm sorry.
No,
That's because Chapman's just too good of a chef. He's
That's
never had
not
any
true.
problems.
I'll like it'll be 3 hours from now. I'll be wake up in the middle of the night and be like, "Oh, I got my story."
Yeah.
Oh, they can join the Discord and see that one, right?
There you go.
Yeah, very true.
So, what we hurdle that sock. Is that what we're doing this week? What are we
No.
hurdling? Chapman, what are we hurdling?
We're just hurdling the AFC.
I would say hurdle
We need
that.
them
Let's
clicks.
be honest.
Hurdle the AFC. Hurdle
We
the
need them
AFC.
clicks.
Let's be
Shag,
smart.
marry, avoid.
No.
You can put that in. You can put that in parentheses. Hurdle that AFC.
Hurdle that AFC. Shag, marry,
Marry,
avoid.
Shag, yeah, Shag, marry, kill, whatever.
Or
Shag,
marry,
marry,
shag,
kill,
kill.
yeah.
So whatever. Yeah.
I don't know if the audience needs us to telling them how we do the titles.
No.
Yeah, I like just the thought process that goes on here. I think they do need to look at just how much goes into what we do here. But okay then, hurdle that AFC parentheses Shag marry kill. See you next week for hurdle that NFC parentheses Shag marry kill.